And I'm honored to be here at the book signing of Harry Shearer's book, Not Enough Indians. Nice to see you today. Well, let's talk about the book. What's the book about?
The book is about a group of people who live in a small town in upstate New York. The town is so on the skids that they realize that the only way they're going to save it is by getting the entire town declared an Indian tribe so they can open a casino. And that's where it starts. And then it takes them to Washington and Vegas and all sorts of other interesting places along the way. And it's supposed to be funny.
What inspired you to write this book?
Um, Kind of the fascination with the historical switcheroo of Native Americans, who were the most despised people on the planet, on the continent for 2 or 3 centuries, suddenly sitting on this big pile of money that would make white people envy them, and then the tribe that opened this huge Indian casino in Connecticut, Foxwoods. When the casino opened, the number of full-blooded members of the tribe that were living on tribal land was one. And I thought, well, if you subtract one from one, then you got something interesting.
Is this the first book you've written?
First novel, third book, first piece of fiction.
Okay. You are a terrific actor and comedy writer as well. What do you like better? Do you like acting, comedy? What's your passion?
I like it all.
Like it all.
Yeah, I mean, if I was forced to make a choice, I think anybody who can uh, play music with any degree of skill and can earn $1 for it would say, well, I'd like to play music more than anything. I mean, that's really just it gives you such instant kind of satisfaction. But I love doing it all.
Speaking of music, everybody loved the Spinal Tap. Did you expect it to be that big once it, over the years, everybody just kind of grew on it?
No, it's a source of constant amazement to us that that movie has had this kind of life. You can never know something like that's going to happen. That's just, I think, we're all real pleased, and we all, I think, take it as a reflection of the fact that we tried to make a movie about the real situation of the rock and roll touring business, and it didn't make anything up. And I think that's why it continues to be seen, is because it has something to say about the way those people really live.
And I did see that Mighty Wind as well. That's terrific working with Christopher Guest. How is it working with that group with improvisation?
It's the best group of people I've ever worked with. I mean, Chris and Michael are old friends of mine. We've worked together for years, but everybody I work with in that aggregation is you're talking about the A team, and they bring their A game when they come to work on these pictures. So it's scary, it's thrilling, it's like coming back to camp, but it's high level camp. It's really high level stuff.
You do have a radio show, if we could talk about that.
Yeah, I have a radio show. It's an hour a week on public radio stations around the country called Le Show, usually on Sundays, and it's basically because I don't do stand-up. It's my way of writing every week new comedy material and coming up with new characters, and basically because of the way it works, I get to do my work and people get to hear it, and no executives interfere in the process. So it's an executive-free show. It's pretty amazing.
You also mix politics with your writings as well. You had a bit. Everyone had a big impact with Hurricane Katrina. You give updates as well as how the New Orleans is doing after the.
Well, I lived in New Orleans part-time, so I very often will do the radio show from there. And I have this blog at Huffington Post in the Eat the Press section of that blog. And I've basically spent the last year taking what we in New Orleans have been finding out through our local media and trying to bring it to the attention of the larger nation, because the national media has done such a terrible job of reporting what really happened down there.
One of my favorite films also that you co-wrote was that Real Life. Yeah, what a great movie. And you are also in The Truman Show, which also talked about pre-reality TV. What's your feelings of reality TV since you were ahead of your time in those
Well,
projects?
I don't think we ever anticipated that the low budget level of reality TV would be so damn appealing to so many television networks. That's really why they do it. It's cheap, It's cheap, and it has all the appeal of a car wreck on the side of the expressway. Ooh.
Right, right. Also, I read an article that you were one of the rare people that saw that Day the Clown Cried.
Yeah. Yes, that's true.
Is that true? How was your reaction when you saw the film?
I'll do it for you now. That was about it.
Right, right. And as far as what do you got coming up for the future that we can see?
Simpsons movie next summer. And my partner and I have written a musical comedy about J. Edgar Hoover called J. Edgar! Exclamation point, and I think it'll be starting in London and then coming over here.
Well, and that's for your consideration.
For your consideration, opens November 17th at theaters around the country. The new Christopher Guest movie.
Well, thank you very much for coming today. It was excellent meeting you and talking to you, and thank you very much for talking to this interview.